These are in listen-only mode.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome to my Psychic Hour. I'm Sandy Anastasi, and I am delighted to see everyone here once again for our free monthly Psychic Hour. And oh, we have so much to talk about tonight. This is one of my favorite months of the year. Of course, I don't have to tell you, we are celebrating Halloween this month, so I don't know about you folks, but I always gear up for that early. I've got my witches hanging outside, and I've got my, my mummies hanging from the doorway, and my little recorder that goes on and goes ooh outside the front door. And I'm hoping that all the kids in the neighborhood happen to notice that and decide to stop by my house for some candy on Halloween. So I hope you get as excited about this holiday as I do. And speaking of holidays, I know that we do have a special holiday this weekend as well, Columbus Day. And so lots and lots of people are off and planning on having fun and hitting the stores. And if you're anything like me and you love the holidays as much as I do, you're still a little astonished to be seeing Christmas holiday things out along with the Halloween and the Thanksgiving displays. So we can talk about that a little bit later in the call if anybody wants to mention it. But I think it's kind of interesting. We're starting to get into a let's celebrate everything at once and start early, and it's kind of fun. I want to take a few minutes here as we get started to express my condolences for all of those people in Vegas who lost their lives and their families. But I also want to express my gratitude to all of the first responders, to all of the people who've come together in love and caring and sending warm wishes and healing, and just from the bottoms of our hearts, as much support as we can possibly give to all those people in Las Vegas. And I want to expand that sense of gratitude as we get started on this call. We've had some crazy weather all over the planet. We've had storms here in Florida, hurricanes in Texas, hurricanes in Puerto Rico, hurricanes in the islands. We've had volcanoes in Bali and a couple of other places. We've had earthquakes off the coast of California and South America and Central America, and fires all across the Northwest. This has been a very hair-raising time. And why am I offering gratitude? To all of you who have come together in prayer and offering the intensity of your focus for healing, for wholeness, for us all to be able to work together on this planet, to pull together as like-minded, positive energy-driven souls. I fully believe that, and I'm going to come right out and say it, folks, I fully believe that when so much discord is stirred up, as has been stirred up by the internet and the media and just all the drama and the gossip of individuals all over the planet, in every culture, in every way, that energy of emotional turmoil that we humans project, I can actually see. I don't know if I would, if any of you on this call can see it. I can see it. I think of it as psychic soup. And when people respond in a negative fashion emotionally, that soup becomes so thick, you can almost feel it. It hangs in the air like a fog. It makes everything unclear. And unfortunately, it also affects the planet. It affects people's emotions. It brings about so much negativity. The beautiful thing is that when we become aware of this, we have the ability to change this, to transform it. We can say to that drama, no. We can say to that gossip, well, I have other things to do. We can turn off that news channel that's beating on us and trying to get us excited about something far beyond what we need to be in order to respond in a healthy fashion. Folks, only you can change this, only you. And, I know I'm speaking to people who are awakened, who are positive, who have a great energy. I can feel you. And I know that you're already taking steps in this direction. It's with our thinking, with our focus, with our positive intent, with our gratitude, that we can change our lives, we can change the lives of our friends and our families and our communities, and we can affect the ground literally that we stand on, and we can affect the weather in a positive fashion. We've all done that. We've been playing with those storms and et cetera, and we've been having great results, okay? And we can make our world the world we want it to be through the experience of gratitude and choosing to see only the positive around us, always focusing on the things that are going to produce a positive outcome to every single thing that we're going through, one way or another. So I'm done with my diatribe for this evening. And as I said, I am grateful to see all of you on here with me this evening. I love you all. You are just such a phenomenal group of people. I look through the names here and I see so many people that I've seen month after month after month now for a lot of years. And I'm welcoming you back. And I'm seeing some new people, which I'm always delighted, because then I know that word's still getting around and new people are finding me and finding the Psychic Hour and finding the work that I do. And I'm terribly, terribly excited about that. A couple of little announcements before we get into the meat of tonight's program. If you go to my website, www.sandyanastasi.com, you'll be able to read about all of these things that I'm about to announce. First off, Tuesday evening, that's coming up very fast on October 10th, I am beginning a 3-part series. It'll only meet 3 times. It's mastermind coaching for how to create, either online or in the real physical world, your own business in the psychic field, in the holistic healing field. If you're a tarot reader, if you're an astrologer, if you're an aspiring channel or medium, if you're a Reiki master, if you are interested in any form of holistic health or healing, so many of us who are really gifted, have tremendous natural talents and skills in the psychic and metaphysical field, are giving our services away when we could be building a business that would not only help other people, but would give us the income that we need to be able to put more of ourselves into that. And because of that, I decided to create that coaching, that 3-part coaching series. So if you have something that you want to put into a business where you can create some remuneration for yourself that's deserved and help people at the same time in the metaphysical and psychic field, you definitely need to come to that coaching program. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But it does begin on the 10th. It meets again on the 17th. It meets again on the 24th. And I guarantee you, you're going to learn to see how your natural gifts and skills can actually be utilized as something which can produce income and help you and your family and the people you're working with at the same time. Now, write on your calendar, my next Psychic Hour is November 5th. Same time, 9 to 10, also free, November 5th. The cruise, the Psychic Cruise, Sandy Psychic Cruise, write it on your calendar. It's not too late to register. It leaves November 25th, and it's gone for a week. We come back December 2nd, just in time to enjoy those holidays I love so much. And so it's sandwiched between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we are going to just take over the ship and have so much fun. Imagine spending a week surrounded by psychics on the high seas. That's what you get on Sandy's Psychic Cruise. So I'm hoping I'm going to see some of you there. I absolutely have so much fun when we do this. And you get to see me doing a messages session. You get to participate in a psychic fair yourself if you want to do some readings. You get to go on shore, and we're going to go through some caves, and we're going to feel the vibrations and the energies in those caves and go through a little earth-oriented goddess ritual. We're going to have some real fun on that cruise. One last thing before I move on to our work this evening. My reading special For those of you who want to actually get a regular reading with me, my reading special for October it's an important one, folks, because it's about you, as always. It has two main focuses. It's going to be first about your life direction and your career, and helping you to focus in on what's going to make you the happiest in your life. And it's also going to help you to connect to your own guides and even deceased loved ones that help to give you that security and that direction and that sense of empowerment. Additionally, I'm giving a special % off on that reading because I want to help people who've been through some of these traumas and difficulties that have been going on in our world that I've talked about. So, you'll be able to read all about that on my website, but I really want to make that reading affordable to people who particularly need to get their lives back together after having come through some real difficulty, and being able to know what's the best way to pull it all back together again as quickly and in a healthier way as possible. Okay, folks, some directions for tonight. For those of you who are new, my assistant Lisa is in our chat room, and she will be calling on people. So if you would like to ask a question, raise your hand, okay? And Lisa will call on people at random. Usually the first come, first served. New people have preference. Okay, I should phrase that. And if you're shy and you don't want to talk, you can also write your question in the chat room and Lisa will repeat it, okay? So you don't have to actually come on and verbalize if you're a little bit shy. When you are called on, you will get to talk to me. I'm not going to be able to see you, but you'll get to talk to me. And what I want to know is, number one, what's your name? 2, where are you calling from? Because that's always a lot of fun. 3, what are you most grateful for this evening? I told you what I'm most grateful for. Now I want to know what you're most grateful for. And I want to know what your sun sign is. Because armed with your sun sign, I can look at this chart you're looking at here on the PowerPoint, and I can give you some really good insight as to what's going on right now for you based on where these planets are. This is called a horary chart, and it's a predictive chart for everyone who is on the call this evening. I also want to add that please pay attention, even if it's not your question, because my guides have a way of coming through and answering 3 or 4 people's questions or more in one person's. So all of this is channeled. Everything that comes through me when we do these sessions is channeled. I work with my guides, I work with tarot, I work with astrology, and you are going to be amazed at how many things come through for you, even though you didn't have a chance to actually talk. I also want you to know that I do this as a gift to everyone who's right here on the call with me. If I don't get a chance to talk to you directly this evening, and you still have a question, within the next 24 hours, if you email me that question, I will answer it within the next couple of weeks. It can take me a little while to get to it, but I promise you I will get to it. You have to physically be on the call, okay? And you need to have not had your question answered tonight. Okay, I'm done talking. Lisa, who is our first victim?
I can't unmute myself. Alrighty, I know I'm going to get this name wrong, but I'm going to give it a stab. Kimya? It says you're self-muted. Can you unmute yourself?
This is Kamaya.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, I'm from I'm from Las Vegas, and my sun sign is Aquarius, and yeah, I'm grateful to be in a new location of Las Vegas. It's somewhere that I've wanted to come for a long time, so I'm finally here, and it's been amazing. Apart from obviously the incident that happened, but apart from that, it's been a good journey to get here.
Well, you've got a lot to be grateful for this evening, Kamaya. Kamaya,
Yes.
am I pronouncing it right? Very beautiful.
Yes.
Love it. And as an Aquarius, Kamaya, we have a couple of interesting things going on. Um, First off, adjust my sound for just a minute so we don't get feedback. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Um, First of all, as we get started, up here at the top of the chart, Maya, we see the sign Aquarius. Okay, so this 10th house is your house if you're an Aquarian, and anyone else who's on the call who's also an Aquarian, this is your house. This is the house of career. And this little doodad in here is called the South Node. And that says that all of you Aquarians right now are having the opportunity to step back into something that you've done in the past. And that could be relative to your career, relative to your home and family, relative to your life direction. Okay? So you're having an opportunity to step back to kind of get your grounding and your foundation under you in order to launch forward into a brand new direction. Now, this particular position is also part of what we call in astrology a T-square that focuses all the energy right now into this house of relationship. You see where my cursor is, the 7th house? So, folks, if you are an Aquarian, right now you're focusing a lot of energy into all of your relationships. That could be with your significant other or your lover. It could be with a partner or with your children. Every relationship, every one-on-one relationship that you have, you're kind of reevaluating, reestablishing, choosing, is this the right position for me to be in or not? Is this moving in the right direction? Relationships for you are shifting and in a good way. Okay? So does that help a little bit? And what is your specific question for Maya?
Mine was just more career-wise, really, just direction on that.
Well, you already got a little direction. Right now, you're going to find career-wise that for you, stepping back into something you've done before, okay, is going to help you, and that doesn't necessarily mean the same job or the same company. It could be just the same skill, the same ability, the same type of work. Stepping back into something that you already have the talent, the ability for, okay? And by stepping back into that, you're going to develop new connections that are going to be able to lead you forward in a new direction that's more appropriate to what you really want to do. What I'm seeing here is that you want to stay closer to people you feel connected to, like home and family. You want to be able to stay closer to them than you have in the past.
Yes.
You also want to maintain freedom that you have worked very, very hard to get. And so by kind of stepping back and giving yourself this little, I think of it kind of like a buffer of time so that you get a feel for what do you really want out of life. And during that time, you're going to be developing a new base of friends, and you will develop the right contacts to move forward into the profession that's going to make you happy. I see you in the future, Maya, being able to support yourself very nicely. And a little word of advice here, keep your finances separate from whoever you're living with, whether it's a partner, a friend, a lover, a husband. Keep your finances independent and you'll do much better for yourself, okay?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that was a great opportunity to kind of introduce all the Aquarians here as to what is going on for you. While I'm talking about the whole energy of Aquarius, folks, Aquarius is a fixed sign. The other signs that are being affected by this same energy are the other fixed signs. That would be the Taurians, who are right now having a lot of crises in relationships. Where do I draw the line between me and you? Okay, we can talk more about that after. All of the Leos are having an opportunity to really launch their lives forward, but are also looking at their responsibilities to home and family. So the same kinds of issues are going on for the Leos as for the Aquarians, but they've got a lot of responsibility weighing them down. That's making it a little hard to take advantage of things for themselves. And you Scorpios, it's all about relationships right now. Who do you want? What do you want? How deep do you want it to go? And what are you going to be able to do to make it what you want it to be? Okay? So we'll talk more about those as you call in. Lisa, who is our next victim.
Alrighty. The next victim for this month is Sherry W. Sherry, you're unmuted. But I believe you're self-muted. Can you unmute yourself, Sherry?
Hey,
There you go.
good
Sherry, I could
evening. How
feel
are you
you
doing?
looking for the microphone.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
Good. Let's see. I'm a Libra, so I don't know where I fit in on your chart, but
We'll find you.
okay. I'm in Miami right now, Miami, Florida. Not far from you, a couple hours.
Nice.
So I guess my question, first thing comes up is career. I'm not sure why I'm asking that question, but that's what popped in that I
And
guess.
before we get there, what are you most grateful for in your life right now at this minute, Sherry?
Um, I guess the ability to learn and the things I've learned and about myself and how I've progressed, just having the ability to, and the different mentors I've had to come in and show me different things. So,
Awesome. That's awesome. Um, Sherry, just a little information for you. You, as a Libra, are showing up here in the 6th house of my horary chart that I cast for our show this evening. And you'll see Sun and Mercury and Jupiter are all here together, which talks about you. You may very well be saying to yourself, am I ready for a change in my profession? Am I ready to take the step forward and take some of these things I've learned and experienced and actually utilize them in my work experience? So I don't know whether this means that you're thinking of, as I was talking about before, going out on your own, starting your own business or doing your own work in some area, or whether this is just you're wanting to take these skills and abilities and apply them within the work that you're already doing. But you definitely are ready to take that step forward and do more with this. It's also interesting that this particular house relates to the house of career, this 10th house, because this is the house that says this is what you do while you're working. Isn't that neat? It's also, so you're very, very good at people. You're a people person. You're a natural diplomat. I don't know if you realize that about yourself. You're very good at communicating with people, at sharing yourself with people. So any job where you are interacting with people is going to bring you delight and it's going to be good for them. Also, I don't know if you are in the health field or are considering going into something which involves something with health or healing or wholeness, but this particular area of the chart is all about your own wholeness and health and also other people's wholeness and health. In fact, everybody who is on this call this evening who is a Libra, this whole concept of doing what you need to do to become whole and healthy within yourself and expand that healing to the world around you, to touch others with it. This is high on everybody's, all of you Libras. It's high on your list of things to be doing right now for all of you. I also think it's neat that once again we have you kind of stepping back into a past aspiration or a past desire that's up here at the House of Career in order to achieve what it is you want. One other thing I want to touch upon, and this isn't from the chart, it's from a spread of cards I laid out for you, Sherry. You are holding on to an old relationship, which you're working through the tail end of it. And I don't know whether this is a love relationship or a relationship with somebody that maybe you expected a particular friendship or work situation to go in a place it didn't, but there was hurt surrounding this thing. And I see you letting go of that. And on the other side of that letting go is a new person filling that void whom you're going to be able to express and communicate with very beautifully. So it feels like you're on the tail end of this healing journey, okay, which did involve a relationship of some sort. And on the other side of that is going to be that fulfillment you're looking for, which interestingly for you has to do with a lot of communication and sharing and being able to express yourself, okay? So you probably got more than you were asking for there. But did I answer your question about the career, or do you need more insight?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Actually, it was two questions, but it was probably more the second question that I was really wanting, but you answered it. Thank you.
I thought so. My guys
Yeah.
usually get those things. Sherry, thank you very much for calling in. And
Thank you.
Lisa, who do we have next?
First, I want to apologize to everybody if you hear the little squeaky noise in the background. I got my baby Laney puppy a new toy today, and she's just going crazy with it. So that's what you're hearing in the background. Alrighty, we're going to go down here to Sandra S. Sandra, you are unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I certainly can, Sandra.
Hi, Sandy. I'm Sandra.
I know. I love it. Love it. Nice to hear my own name spoken. It's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy to share names with you. Okay, and by the way, my actual name on my birth certificate is Sandra, so we're both Sandras.
I've never been a Sandy. I don't know why. I've always more been a Sandra, I guess.
Yeah, and I've always been the opposite. I've always been a Sandy, even though the birth certificate says Sandra. So
It
it's
fits.
interesting. It's funny what you pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for this evening, Sandra?
I'm most grateful for me being healthy and my kids and we're safe and with everything that's going on in the world. I'm just grateful that my loved ones are safe and healthy and, just praying for everybody else.
I am with you there. Very good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
and what's your sun sign?
I'm an Aries.
Okay, so you're up here in this 12th house of the chart. You've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, haven't you, Sandra?
Yes, ma'am.
Sandra, where are you from?
I am originally from Colombia, South America, but I live in Huntsville. I grew up in New York, but I am now in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh my goodness, you have really been all over the chart.
Yeah.
I mean, from Colombia to New York is one big move, and then to, wow, deep south. Boy, oh boy, you really get around, and you've been having in that, you've gone to parts of the country that are so radically different. I know that it's like your life journey is
Mhm.
to, every time you get comfortable someplace, it's like you get to move and you kind of get picked up and shaken around like a little rag doll. And then you land in a new spot and you say, oh, well, I guess I can do this.
Very, very much so. Yes.
Yeah, that's what my guys are showing me. They're telling me that for you, um, life has to do with flexibility. And it's not always easy, but apparently, you don't always make these moves because it's your choice. You make these moves because you get kind of taken along for the ride. But every time you come up smelling roses, and it turns out to be a good thing and exactly the right thing for you and for your family. So, kudos to you. That's a wonderful ability to live life like that, going through all the
Thank you.
transformations and growing each time you go through one of them. That's a big thing. A lot of people can't do that, and you have been doing it wonderfully, and you've kind of trained your children into being able to do it too.
Yeah.
As an Aries, I just want to show you this. Here you are doing that soul searching up here, and this is also very active dreams. Please keep all you Aries on the chart. In fact, all of you cardinal signs, Aries, Libras, Capricorns, Cancers, please track your dreams right now. Not only are you getting a tremendous amount of content and insight in your dreams, you're also getting precognitive dreams where you're getting information that's coming up in your own future and the future of people that you care about. So track those dreams. This is a very special time. And also all of you cardinal signs, but most especially the Aries, you need time alone right now. And I know it's hard to get in this crazy world where there's so much going on and there are so many responsibilities and you're all being pulled all these different directions, but you need time alone in order to know what you want, in order to get in touch with yourself. And also for all of you cardinal folks, it's a great time either to learn meditation or to actually, if you are a meditator, do more of it. Really spend that time because it'll be worth every moment that you do. It's just a great time for this. I also see you Cardinal people concerned, very concerned with health, either for yourself or somebody close to you. Those are major issues. I also see something else here that's kind of interesting. You know, maybe because you folks tend to be, at this time in the way the world's moving, more emotional than most of the rest of us. But as a broad generalization, you cardinal sign people are having a lot of issues with your empathy. There is so much going on, like I described earlier, with that psychic soup that we get involved with. It's so easy for you folks to be sucked into it if you don't have that grounding you get from meditation, from spending time alone. If you know my lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, it's for free on my site. Go practice it because it'll help you to be more stable and less like a leaf on the breeze relative to other people's emotions, especially with what's relative to our world and the craziness that's happening. You need that grounding, you cardinal sign people. You need it. Study my psychic protection tips on YouTube as well. They're all going to be helpful. This is a great time, all of you, for communication. So write the book, talk to people, be heard, tell your feelings to the other family members, get stuff out in the open. All this is real important. Now, Sandra, what is your specific question?
My specific question had to do with I met somebody recently, and it has been such a magnetic and just very roller coaster intense relationship, and I'm very happy, and I'm getting ready to, completely change my life. And it's funny what you said earlier. I always come out okay, and yet I always just kind of get scared, and that's where I'm at. It's just if you see anything that might help me in that regard, I guess.
I don't know how blunt and how direct I can be on the air. Do you want all the way blunt, or do you want me to be sort of eggshell and tentative with what I'm about to say?
All the way, please.
Okay. What I'm getting is that one of you is either married or has ties to a past marriage. Okay? And that is at the core of your insecurity and your fear. Okay? Apparently you're afraid if you go all in with this that you don't have the right foundation. And on the other side, the other person is waiting to be sure that you're all in before he is able to move forward. Isn't that interesting? Isn't love wonderful? It's like, I don't want to commit until you commit. Okay? So that little dance is being played. I want to tell you the best guidance that and I'm feeling a pang, a tremendous heartache pang here, because this is not the first time that you've gone through this kind of journey, this kind of situation. But here's the way to make sure you land with your feet under you. Regardless of how you proceed moving forward, and I do see a lot of love here, and I see caring, I just see you dancing around one another, like I said, waiting for the other one to commit, because you're both so insecure and so fearful. But I know that as long as you maintain your independence of spirit, maintain your financial independence, so whatever you do, however you move, make sure that your finances are looked after, make sure your family is intact. So these are responsibilities for you. As long as you keep your feet on the ground relative to those things, everything's going to work out fine, and you can afford to move forward and make the commitment emotionally. And you can afford to do all those other things because your practical things that need to look after your future are now taken care of. Did that make sense, Sandra?
That makes complete sense. Thank you so much.
And see, I know that if you hold back emotionally, you're going to cripple the relationship. But I also know that it would be a mistake for you to do that commitment without assuring yourself of stability and safety. So do both. That's easy enough. You can do that.
Okay, thank you.
I hope that was helpful.
It really was. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lisa, who is our next person?
That next person we're going to call on is Emma. Emma, you're unmuted.
Oh, hello. Hi, Sandy.
Emma, How are you this evening?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. Emma, what are you most grateful for this evening?
I'm most grateful for my amazing mom. She's always there for me, so she's always looking out.
Awesome. Hey, Emma, and what's your sign?
I am a Virgo.
Oh boy, we are all around the zodiac tonight, aren't we? First we hit the fixed signs, then we hit the cardinal signs, and now we're hitting the mutable signs. So we're getting everybody, okay? Virgo, of course, is a mutable sign. Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Gemini. I'm the Gemini. We're all mutable signs. So all you mutable signs, perk your ears up right now. And what is your specific question right now?
So I'm a college student, and recently I have felt very lost and stressed about deciding on a major. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I'm kind of having some strong doubts. And what career direction will guide me to a happy future? Ultimately, I just want to be happy.
Which I think is great. Well, first of all, I want to tell you something and understand all the other mutable signs on here. This is going to help you too. Emma, look at I hope you can see my cursor here. This
Yes,
house,
I can.
the fifth house, has Mars and Venus in it, okay? This is the house of creativity. This is the sign of Virgo, okay? And it's opposing Neptune and Chiron up here in the opposite house, okay? That's in Pisces. This opposition is taking every Virgo, every Pisces, every Gemini, every Sag, and it's making you very confused about what you want to be when you grow up, okay? And so please do not feel, Emma, that that this is, oh my God, what's happening to me? I always thought I knew what I wanted to be, and now something's shaking my tree. Every one of we folks in the mutable signs are going through that same experience because of this placement of Neptune. Now, here's what's really at the core, at the root of this. You are feeling a very deep need to make a difference. Think about how that feels. You getting it?
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, I want to make a difference. That feels all of a sudden like, yeah, that's it, okay? And it feels to you like you can't really be happy unless you're in a field where you can make a difference, okay? That's going on for all of us mutable signs because of that position of Neptune. As a matter of fact, it's very powerful right now because of all this craziness that's going on in our world, where you see that help is so necessary, and empathically you want to reach out, you want to care, you want to share. And again, this is Chiron, this little doodad over here is Chiron, the healing planetoid. There it is, right next to Neptune. So not only do you want to make a difference, but you want to heal and you want to help. And then you look at whatever the field is that you were about to major in. Well, how can I use this to heal? How can I use this to make a difference? Do you see where this is going? Now,
yes, I do.
Just so that everybody here can feel comfortable, no matter what you're doing in the world, you're going to have opportunities to bring healing, to reach out, to help other people, to make a difference. So, honest to God, as long as that's your focus, you're going to be able to achieve that. Something else is going on here, though, for you as well, since you're a Virgo. There's also this, we have a nice T-square that focuses into the second house, which is natural talents and abilities. So you're getting a little astrology lesson here, too. Don't know why my guides are doing that, except that maybe there are a few of you on this call tonight who will someday be astrologers, because you're getting more of the astrology than I usually put in here. But that second house of natural talents and abilities says that for you, you may very well have some creative, remember what house your sun is in right now? You may very well have some real creative abilities and natural talents that are screaming to get out, that in the field that you were going to go into, you don't know that you're going to be able to utilize them. Does that sound like where you're at?
Yes, yeah, no, definitely.
Okay. So what I want you to do, and here again, this is all the Virgos and all the Geminis and all the Pisces and all the Sages on this call. I want you to go back and really think to yourself and feel, don't just think, but feel, what is it that I am good at? What is it that in the course of my life I've been able to do or achieve or serve or in some way, reach down into myself and bring out as a skill or an ability that has made me feel happy? What is that thing? Is it singing? Is it music? Is it art? Is it putting a Band-Aid on somebody? Is it bringing somebody a cup of coffee? What is that thing that you have been able to do that has just made you feel inwardly joyful because you had the ability and the skill to make it happen? And that's the thing that you need to go after professionally. And there will be at least 5, 10 different professions that you can go into and utilize that heartfelt ability that wants to come out of you. It's like there's something inside that just wants to explode out of you. And that's how you find it. Did that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
And I do want to say, I don't know if it's law or the legal profession that you were thinking of going into. I see those issues around you, so I don't know if they're just issues or if that was the field you were involved with. My guides are telling me that could, whatever it was you were going into, could only work if you were willing to study it for a lot of years and take it to its upper level. So apparently on the, on the lower level, it's like when I was, they're showing me when I was a kid in college myself, and I was so interested in psychology until I took a psychology course and discovered that they wanted to train me in behaviorism. And it was so dry that I dropped out. But if I had stayed until I was able to get to the Freudian psychology that they taught in master's level psychology, I would have loved it. Okay? And it's that same kind of thing. Now, that's not what you're into, but that's what my guides are showing me, that if you could stick there until the higher levels, you would be able to utilize that skill. You'd find what you wanted, but you'd really have to stick with it. You may find something that satisfies your need without going through that additional training. And so there are several different ways of going about finding what you need to do. Okay?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck with it. You're going to be very, add this on, you're going to be very successful. And what you eventually go into, if you follow that inner voice that's going to lead you, it's going to be very lucrative as well. So you're going to be in a position where you can have it all. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All the best to you. Okay, Lisa, who's next?
Yeah, we're going to go down here to Robert. Robert, you need to unmute yourself.
Hi, Sandy. Can you hear me okay?
I can, Robert. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. I'm Scorpio, as you know, and I'm in Charlotte Harbor.
You're right nearby. My goodness. Okay. And what are you most grateful for this evening, Robert?
My friends and family that are around me have given me support over the last few months.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, what I'm seeing, I laid out a little spread of cards, and they're showing that you have recently walked away from a life situation, some form of a relationship, that you really spent a lot of time thinking about. So it's either the relationship or it's an aspect of the relationship you've walked away from. You've chosen freedom, okay? And what's interesting is that this almost feels like you chose freedom. You stayed, but you chose freedom through changing your response. That might be a more accurate way of putting it. But what they're telling me is that you are in a position now to be able to achieve happiness because there's been this enormous inner transformation that's happened. Okay? Did that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I know it sounded very convoluted, but I think you got it. Okay? And if anybody else is on the call who's also a Scorpio, guess what? The same stuff is going on for you. Okay? Scorpio's on the 7th house in this chart. So Scorpio is having these questions in all relationships, not just in the one-on-one love relationships, but the relationships with the kids, the relationships with the friends, the relationships with the greater world, and most importantly, the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay? Now, the opposition here is the moon in Taurus. And so there are a lot of questions going on. There's the, this is what I really want, but if I do move in that direction, how is that going to affect my stuff? How is that going to affect my financial situation? How is that going to affect the relationships that I have created with great care that are stable and give me a lot of emotional support, but I'm ready to take a leap? And so there's this real questioning that's going on, for Scorpios right now. And again, all the fixed signs have this to some degree, where the reason I say the most important relationship here is the one you're having with yourself, is because if you're not really, really in touch with your wants and your needs, Scorpios, Tauruses, Aquarians, Leos, please remember this. You can really screw your life up right now, big time. Okay? So get in touch with what you want first and know what you're about before you act, which is sometimes
Right.
hard. Robert,
Oh, I understand that.
what is your specific question?
Mine is work related.
Okay.
As a small business owner, I want to know how I'm going to do over the next year.
Okay. And, oh boy, I'm getting that this is one of those anything can happen times. Feels that way too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
My guides are telling me that being careful about how you handle your finances right now is extremely important. There are things that you're going to feel like you need to jump on, that you need to move quickly with. My guides are saying patience and taking your time is going to be most important, because the thing that looks really good right now is not going to be the thing that's best for you maybe 6 months down the road. Okay? Now, having said that, okay, I want you, all your fixed signs, to please to realize this about your careers right now. Back in August, we had 2 eclipses, one in Aquarius, one in Leo, the fixed sign. They talked about life direction, finances, who you're going to be with, what you want to do with your life. Okay, now that kind of hits everybody, but specifically you fixed sign codes. Now, if you make a diary that starts the last week of August, of July, last week of July, goes all through August and includes the first week of September. So it'll be a 6-week-long diary. How things were going financially, that shows you the next 6 months. How things were going in your relationships, that shows you the next 6 months. If something went down and then came back up over the next 6 months, it's going to go down and come back up. So it may not be the specific things, but it's going to show you the trends. So please, go back and recreate a diary of that time period. We all should do that, by the way. But if you're a fixed sign, it's imperative, because that will help you to guide your life over the next 6 months. I hope that was somewhat helpful, Robert.
Oh, it was. Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it, Sandy.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in. And Lisa.
Thank you.
Sorry, having a coughing attack here. All righty, the next person I'm going to call on is Jessica. Jessica, you are unmuted.
Hello?
Hi there, Jessica.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello?
What are you most grateful for? What's your sun sign? Where are you from?
Okay. So I'm most thankful for my new job. I am calling from Florida, and my sun sign is Pisces.
Awesome. And a fellow Floridian. We're all online this evening. I love that. I love being in Florida. Great place. Even when there are hurricanes, because the sun comes out afterwards. So thank God, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, my fellow Floridian. And here you are as a Pisces. This is all about, believe it or not, it's all about friends. It's all about making connections and contacts right now. You may be feeling a little bit lost because Neptune and Chiron are both going through your sun sign. But all of you Pisceans, as long as you're following, I say following your heart, but I don't so much mean your emotions as that inner voice. As long as you're moving in tune, in sync with that inner voice that says, yes, this is right. This feels good. No, this doesn't. Back away. As long as you're moving in that direction, you're going to do well. Okay? What is your specific question?
Well, I just wanted to know if I'm on the right track health-wise and also with letting go of past relationships.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. You know, the two things are linked. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
For you, and this to some degree happens with everybody, you know, when you're in a relationship, it's normal and natural for us to exchange thoughts, exchange emotional connections, exchange energy with our partner. If we didn't, it's not much of a relationship. But if the relationship is in some way toxic, or you don't want to be in it, or one of the people's, constantly involved with emotional tumult, what happens is that the energy that gets exchanged can be toxic to one of the individuals, and it can create health issues. Okay. First, I want to tell you that one of the reasons that this past relationship was in your life to begin with was to show you how very, very, very open, unprotected you have been in all of your relationships. Did that come home to you? Do you understand that now?
Yeah, definitely.
So in recognizing that this relationship that you have now ended or have been trying to end is toxic, okay, and has produced health problems, you've made that link and you're absolutely correct. It's not so much that the health problems came from the dump you were getting from that person, but from your reaction that you needed to cut them off and didn't, okay? When it was done, it should have been done. It went on too long. So it was a combination of two things. One was the energy exchange that was no longer beneficial to you in any way, shape, and form, had become harmful. The other was your own resistance. And your own resistance is what actually created that health issue. I.e., folks, please remember this. When you are forcing yourself to do something, anything in life, that your spirit, your emotion doesn't want to be doing, okay? If I am forcing myself to go to a job that I hate, I'm going to get sick. If I am forcing myself to have relations with a partner that I don't feel comfortable with anymore, I'm going to get sick, okay? So there was a really big message here for you that came through that partnership, but needs to be applied to every situation in your life because you're too easygoing. Okay, you want everybody to get it. You're always giving away too much of self. You get what I'm talking about. And ultimately, you get stuck in the middle and you're fulfilling everybody else's needs except for your own. And then your own inner resistance comes up and you get sick. Okay? So I'm going to take what you learned from that relationship and apply it to everything. Okay?
Right.
So, that was just the tip of the iceberg. So your question is, how are you doing with ending that relationship? That was your first question. And, my guides are saying that the legal aspects aren't done. Are you aware of that?
I feel like a remnant's there still. I'm a little gun shy with relationships because of this person.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. And what they're telling me is that when I say legal aspects, I'm talking about actual legality. Okay. So there may have been property that was owned, or he may have felt that he had more of a control over you because, he gave something to you, or legal means there's something connecting. Okay. And although I no longer see that there, I see that you have a sense of emotional responsibility, or a sense of I'm obligated, or I owe, or you did this, so that's still not cut. Do you see? So whatever it is, and it might even be on his part that he feels that since he did this, this, and this for you, that you owe him. You see? Now, I'm not saying you need to reconnect with him in any way, shape, or form, but within yourself, you need to identify whatever that thing is, and you need to say, no, that is not my responsibility. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? And that cuts the final tie. And that leaves you free to move into a future relationship. And guess what? Going into that relationship, you set boundaries. You have now learned to set boundaries, haven't you? Okay?
Right. Yep.
And, No, if you're going to make me feel responsible or obligated, I don't want that thing you're going to do for me or give to me. That's a boundary. Okay? If you give this to me, I will give this to you in return. We're even. Okay?
Right.
Okay? So apparently this is, again, one of those things that relationship taught you. And now, is this important to everybody? To some degree, yes, but specifically for you, because you get so controlled by senses of obligation and responsibility that other people say you owe. Did you see what I just did there? You're allowing other people to set the rules here. You need to set the rules. You got it?
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And guess what? Armed with that, not only do you start to feel better and better and better and better, okay, but you also start to get more successful in your relationships, in your work, in your family, in your friends, in your home life. It hits everything.
Great. That's awesome.
Did that get it?
Yep, that did it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for calling in. That was a good question. You got good information there from your guides. I think it helped a lot of people on the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who is next? And this is probably going to be our last call for the evening.
Next person is going to be Stephanie is the lucky winner. Stephanie, you are unmuted.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm the last person.
Last but never least, Stephanie.
Yeah. I also, before we started, I wanted to tell you that I'm very good friends with Lisa Garcia.
Oh, wow. And,
we went to high school together.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to tell her that I talked to you this evening.
Well, she knows that I was attending the webinar, but she didn't know that obviously, well, maybe she does know that I'm being read.
She probably does. She usually knows things like that.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, I am a Libra, and the thing that I'm grateful for is solitude and peacefulness when I can get it.
And I love how you said that. I want to just draw everybody's attention to this for a moment. Here she is in that sixth house where all you Libras are. That's the everyday life house. Work, 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 communication, all kinds of stuff happening. But this Uranus up here in the 12th is saying, I want solitude and peace at the same time that it's making every single day of your life totally hectic and chaotic and unpredictable, isn't it? So go ahead.
Okay. My question is that things have been very complicated and extremely, there's been some tragic things as well that have happened over the past 3 years with loss of my sister. And, you know, there's a suspicious situation surrounding that. And in this 3-year period, I mean, no parent should lose their child. And my parents, you know, lost their child, and their health has really declined to the point that I needed to move them from one state to my state. So, and my little immediate family is fine, but because of the past 3 years and all of these things, I just want to know, when is this going to calm down?
Oh, you're going to hate me for what I'm about to say, but you need to hear it. It's going to calm down when you calm it down. Here's what's happening, and I can see the story in this chart. I love when these horary charts actually tell the story. This is not only the house of everyday life, it's the house of health.
Yes.
It's your sun, this is you. Mercury is your sister. Jupiter is travel, transportation, move. This is part of a T-square, Pluto's control, and it's in Capricorn family, coming from a distance, 9th house is distance, dealing with unconscious Uranus and Aries in the 12th, responsibility, feeling that it's all fallen on your shoulders. That is a T-square that exits into the house of the sister. So what's happened is, because of the death of your sister, you felt that not just that their health was deteriorating, but you had to fill her shoes. You had to be everything to them. So you've moved them closer to you, thinking it would make things easier. And unfortunately, it's made things much, much harder because you, for that time period when you were really filling her shoes and trying to fix it all, you jumped into the situation with no boundaries. And so now you've created a situation where you have in their minds, which you're still trying to fulfill, you have to be all things to all people. So you now have to put them before your own immediate family. You've got to put their health before your own. You've got to put their health and well-being before your kids and your husband because you set no boundaries going in. So guess what? This changes when you separate yourself from the situation emotionally and say, okay, in a real world, how much time can I give to them per week? What can I do? What can I be there for? And still have time and energy for my husband, my kids, my family. And anything outside of that, you need to look for outside care. You need to look for help and healing from the community that's available. It's time for you to go back and reassess and reevaluate and set boundaries. And yes, you may actually have to go to them and say, you know, I have to rethink this. I will be here for this, this, and this. But, you know, the kids have to come first. And so we're going to find somebody else to do this service, and this service for you. You see? And you're going to discover something really, really interesting. Remember we talked about resistance before? Whenever you set up resistance to something, when you're feeling that resistance, I don't want to do this, and you push towards it, you make yourself sick, but you also make the other person sick because they're feeling that same resistance being projected at them. So when you find a way that relieves the pressure on you and your family and still is able through outside sources to satisfy the needs of your parents, you are going to feel better. They are going to feel better. Their health is going to improve. Their longevity will improve. And all because you took a slightly different stance and started to look at the situation a little bit differently. Does this make sense?
It does.
Okay? So this is not a hole that you have to spend your life in. This could be a very beautiful situation and a great opportunity for your children to get to know their grandparents and to be involved with them in a healthy way. But you cannot be all things to all people here. That's the big thing that's got to change.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
There's a wee
Thank you very
bit of your needing to give up control. Can you do that?
That would be very hard, but I'm going to try.
Hey, thank you so much for calling in. I'm suspecting that that information was helpful also to a lot of people on this call who find themselves in a similar situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Folks, just as a reminder, Tuesday night starting at, I think it's 7 p.m., but that's the 10th, we have my mastermind coaching. It's a 3-part series. I hope you'll join with me. The next psychic hour is November 5th, 9 to 10 p.m. The Psychic Cruise, November 25th to December 2nd. Not too late. You can almost get in under the wire there if you want to be on the high seas with a bunch of psychics. And don't forget, my reading special for this October is all about career pathing and making the best of your life situation right now. Folks, always great to see you. If you have a question and I didn't answer it within the next 24 hours, get that question to me and I will be glad to do so. Thank you. Good night, everybody. See you next month.